Hey, what's up with y'all? What's going on? My name is Samba Beatz, and I wanted to talk to y'all and just introduce myself and tell y'all about my upbringing. I'm a music producer based in Atlanta, and I work with Future, done songs with Niska, done songs with Los Salota, done songs with Lil Baby, Skillet Baby, Sada Baby, Chiherba, Lil Unky, Cardi, done songs with a lot of people. And I just want to talk about how I came up making music in Atlanta and just the grind and just like my background, everything like that. And that way y'all can get a feel of who I am, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I grew up in Rahway, New Jersey, the Housing Authority, the projects. And, I got, 5 brothers, 2 of them I grew up with. And, single mom. And then moved out of the projects and then went to another side of Rahway, a better side where the houses and everything. 11th grade, moved to Atlanta. My whole life, I really wanted to become a chef. For real. That was like my dream. I wanted to become a chef and whipping it up in the kitchen, you feel me? And just making food. I always was creative, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to make something from nothing. I always was good at collages and putting things together from random things. And I feel like that's why the music came in, because that's what you do. You're mixing different sounds together, or you're creating sounds. In high school, I graduated and I went to culinary arts school. When I was there, I don't know if y'all ever experienced this, where you wanted to be something your whole life, you wanted to be a chef your whole life, and then when you get in the real life thing, it's like a culture shock almost. You're just like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know we had to do all that. I was one of those kids that used to watch Food Network all the time. I used to be watching Food Network and Unwrapped and Bobby Flay and all that type of stuff. And I just loved seeing it on TV, and I actually love cooking in the kitchen with my grandmother. Rest in peace to my grandmother. But that's how it started off for real. Me wanting to be a chef, at Nana House cooking. And eventually, I just felt like cooking on a professional level wasn't for me. That's not what I wanted to do. So I basically dropped out. And then when I dropped out, like everybody else that probably dropped out of school, they gotta go get a job. You know what I'm saying? Gotta go get some money. Well, my first job was what was it? I think it was Panera Bread or KFC or something. So I used to work at KFC. I used to work at Panera Bread, bro. I had 13 jobs for real before I started doing music full time. I used to skate too. I've been skating since I was 15, but I recently slowed down skating because of music. But, my whole life was literally skating, smoking weed, going to parties and stuff, talking to girls, and freaking going to work. That was my life for real back then. That was my life as a teenager. As I got older, I found music because one of my people, he had this program on his computer. It was like a DJ program. He basically had it on there, and I would go to his house. It was one of my people I used to skate with, and he had it at his house. And I was like, what's that? And he was like, oh, that's da-da-da-da. I was like, yo, let me see. Let me get on that joint. And I was, using it or whatever. I was like, it's kind of cool. But at the time, I had no laptop. So, I had to go get a laptop years later. But I would just go to his house to mess with that program. I think a couple years later, I got a laptop, and, I met my girlfriend at the time. She's my wife now. And literally got a laptop. It was $200, I think. It was a $200 laptop at this hole in the wall place too. And it was crazy. That laptop was used, and it was it had a lot of issues with it, in the beginning. And then I had to, get it repaired and all that. And I downloaded FL on there. Somebody told me to download FL. They was just like, bro, you got to get on this joint. It's your hard. You got to get on it. So I'm like, all right. So I got on FL, started making beats on there. And when I first started, bro, my beats was booty, bro. They was super whack. But I didn't think that at the time. Everybody that started making beats, you be thinking your beat's the hardest thing in the world. You be going around showing people yeah, bro, listen to this beat. I just made this in my room last night. Listen to this junk. And they listen to it. Anytime a nigga tell you, oh, I see where you going with it, that junk whack. You see what I'm saying? That junk booty. It got potential, but it just ain't there yet. That's what people used to be saying to me when I first started making beats. I used to be showing my mom. She'd be like, it's cool. And when I started, I would just kept on going because I love music. I grew up, my mom used to be in a group, you know what I'm saying? And she used to be singing and stuff. And we grew up listening to music, listening to Michael Jackson, listening to, Tony Braxton, all different type of like R&B and like hip hop, Tupac, Biggie, like, you know, normal stuff everybody be listening to. And then when I got in high school, I ain't gonna front, like I got in high school and I met these skater kids and they used to be showing me Black Flag and I'm like, what is this? And I love music, like I love all different type of music. I'm like, what is this? Bad Brains I'm listening to, all these like punk rock like bands, you know, back in the 80s. And I'm like, I just felt like it was a whole new world. And I feel like, you know, when I started making music, that like kind of influenced my sound too, you know, that real hard type of sound. And but yeah, what was I saying? But yeah, so the music, so let me reel it back. I was, you know, on FL Studio on that $200 laptop, making beats. And then I started putting my stuff on YouTube and like, and I would put like maybe one beat every other month. So I wasn't even going hard. I wasn't making beats every day. Like I would make one beat and then I'll go out and skate or something, or, you know, be chilling with the homies, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, I started like making beats. I started to like really like fall in love with it, you know, and making beats like all the time, you know. 2014, my girl's brother at the time, he was rapping and then he started getting on my beats, you know what I'm saying? He started getting on my beats and he was rapping and all that, you know. He passed away in like 2015 though, but he was getting on my beats and he was like the first person to really rap on my beats. And I was like happy just to get somebody to be like, yo, like this is dope, you know, and he was rapping on my stuff. And then during that time, I met this other artist in New York. His name was Aaron Cooks, but he goes by Stove God Cooks now. And I met him and he was like, yo, send me some beats. So I started sending him beats. And he was like the first artist ever like that was like, he was signed to Busta Rhymes at the time. And like, I was just like, oh snap, like this is a big artist, like they signed to a real record label. Like I have nothing was going on for real. I was just posting beats on YouTube, nothing else, like, you know. And then I did have one song with this dude. Y'all remember that song? Look at the flick of that wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist. I did a song with him. I was like, wow, like I was starting to, you know, I'm starting to actually get my music to people. So I was happy. I didn't care who it was, like whether it's the local person, this person, like I just wanted somebody to rap on my beats at the time. I did not care. And then like, you know, during that time, I met Hepaholics, dude in Germany, another producer. We started making these beats, made the tape, like I said, dropped the tape, you know, just to get our beats out there. And then we did like a Migos type beat. We put it on YouTube. The beat itself did like 100,000. So mind you, imagine you don't got nothing going on, like no song doing not even 1,000 views, and you post a song, post a beat, and that joint do 100,000. You like on YouTube, you like, oh, like we about to turn up, right? So people just started stealing the beat. They just started stealing the beat, taking the beat off of YouTube. We like, yo, like, who is this person like taking the beat? Like they shooting videos. I ain't know what to do. I ain't know nothing about the music business. I ain't know jack. And like, they just like, oh, let it ride, cause you ain't got nothing, dog. Let it ride. So I was listening. I just let it ride, right? And like, you know, eventually, like probably like a couple months later, this artist in France, his name was Niska, and this other guy named Guy to Besbar, like they got the song Guy to Besbar, got Niska and a whole bunch of other people, and these were big artists. They were on a come up at the time, but now they're like Drake over there in Europe, you know what I'm saying, or France or whatever they from. And like they did a song to it. It's called "On Us Is Terrible," and the song went viral. It was a freaking hit, you know what I'm saying? Like got like 17, 18 million on YouTube. And I was just like, wow, like this is, people still be like, yo, like, and over there in that country, they be like, yo, that's a classic song. That was a hit record. I was like, wow, like that's crazy. And like I told y'all, like I didn't know how to manage. I didn't know how to manage my stuff. I didn't know how to get the money from the music. So it took me like 2 years to, you know, find a lawyer and handle all that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so eventually like 2 years later, we handled all of that. But I'm like, bro, like I gotta find somebody in Atlanta. Cause that's cool, got this artist in another country, but I gotta find some people in Atlanta. So, you know, long story short, like I found this artist named Loso Loaded. And at the time, he had this song called Madden. And then Madden was doing numbers. He was like popping in the city or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was on the come up in the city. And like, you know, he was signed to this label called Bases Loaded. And they had Lotto Savage on there, Cash Out on there, a lot of people. And like they used to be recording at the studio called Blue Room all the time, right? And one day I hit up Loso on Twitter. I was like, yo, like I'm trying to send some beats, and he was getting on the beats. And then eventually he was just like, yo, pull up to the studio. I pull up to the studio, 808 Mafia in there making beats. You know what I'm saying? Producers in there from there. Pull up to the studio. We do a couple songs. You know, the songs did good. It was a song called The First and the Third or something like that. And the song did good, right? And then through Loso, I met like a whole bunch of other people. The thing about the music industry is like you meet one person and then that person knows this person, and the engineer might be in a room and he knows Future, or the engineer might be in a room and he knows, you know, Cardi. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like your engineer might be in a room and he knows so many other people, 21 Savage, like, you know. So it's like a lot of stuff came from just like networking and being in the same space with these people. So that first day I linked up with Loso, I was just like, okay, now like you got these real producers, like, you know, with a lot of emotion, like, you know, they like moving and doing a lot of different things, you know, making things happen. And I wanted to be in that type of space where it's like people who were accomplished and doing those type of things. And like yeah, so after that, I met Lotto Savage, you know what I'm saying? And I met Lil Wop through Lotto Savage. Yeah, Lil Wop, he was making music. He signed to the same label, met him, you know, and this before all that other stuff people be talking about now. I'm talking about the old Lil Wop, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's something where like we were just making music, and like he was the first artist to really like my name would really in Atlanta started moving around. You know what I'm saying? I was making all of his beats, all his, you know, early stuff. I was making all of it. And then through that time, I started learning about the business, started getting paid like actual checks from labels, you know, from Warner and all these different things, and understanding the business and learning politics too. A lot of politics in Atlanta, like a lot of politics, you know, certain groups and different people that you gotta like really pay attention to, you know. So like, you know, I learned about all those type of things during that time. You know, I'm over here in the projects with Lotto Savage making beats, you know what I'm saying? Like in the trap, like making beats, you know, and like just going crazy. And then like he getting on them and it's going up, it's doing stuff, you know, and at his mama's house making beats. Like, you know, I was definitely like grinding during that time. Like, and I'm working a job the whole time, working a job. I was doing like temp jobs at the time. And like I was working at Publix, like the warehouse in the freezer. I don't know if y'all ever worked at Publix in the freezer, but it's crazy. It's like below zero, and you gotta show up to the job at like 4:30 in the morning. So I'm going from the studio mad late at night, you know, getting home at 1 o'clock in the morning, sleeping for 2 hours. Then I'm going to Publix to go work and freaking put pallets together and all this type of stuff, you know, mad early in the morning. And I got fired from that job, showed up late. They were just like, man, we got to let you go. You came in late too many times, you know, da 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 da. I was like, damn, son. Like, I just found another job and just kept on working. Fast forward, like 2018, I met this dude named Fritz. He's Cardi's engineer now. But I met him and he was just engineering, you know what I'm saying? Just engineering everybody, you know? And like, he told me about this artist named Lil Freaky in Atlanta, upcoming artist in Atlanta. Started making music with him. Then he was just working. Everybody was working. I was in there coming up with Pyrex, all these people like in the Blue Room, and everybody just in the same environments. That's the thing. Producers, like, y'all got to be in the same environments as these people that's on the come up, that's actually making noise in whatever city you're at. That's like important, because if you're not doing that, then you're not gonna you're just bound to, you know, rub elbows with those type of people, especially, you know, networking and all that type of stuff, and people seeing your face. When you just sit in a room all day and nobody's seeing your face, it's like, it's not a human connection. But when they see your face, you pulling up to the studio, they trust you more. You're gonna get on projects a lot easier, because they like, nah, like that's Samba, like he worked with da 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 da, or, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm talking to them, I'm dapping them up. It's a real human connection, you know, like we having real conversations. So it's like, it's a lot easier to get placements like that when you actually have relationships with people. But yeah, during that time, you know, was working in the studio, started working with Lil Freaky, dropping music, da 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 da. And then yeah, we just met all these Atlanta artists. Like, you know, I remember I was in the studio with Lil Salota, Lil Marlo coming up, RP Lil Marlo, like and they was pulling up making songs like in there with Ben Billions. He did the song with The Weeknd and Future, you know, that Low Life. Like we was in the studio during that time, like just making music. You know, I was in there with Double A, like a young boy producer, and we was making beats. I still got the beats in my phone, like still making beats and like just, you know, working, man. Fast forward 2019, Fritz, like, you know, was engineering all these people. You know, he's like, yo, send some beats. Like, you know, I'm working with Cardi now. You know what I'm saying? Sent the beats, and then, you know, he got him on a couple of them. You know, he never dropped them, but he got on a couple of them. And a lot of these big artists that came out of Atlanta, like we were in the vicinity of these people coming up at the same time, and that's why I was able to rub elbows with a lot of different people, like I said. And then I started to like really see what's going on in the music industry, and I'm like, certain things started to rub me the wrong way, and I wasn't really feeling it, you know. At the time, I was just like, man, like there's a lot of like nonsense going on that can affect your relationships with certain artists or, you know, whatever. Like, and I don't like it. I'm not like a picking sides type of person. Like, I'm neutral, you know what I'm saying? Because my life outside of music is very private, you know. So like it's something where like I'm not in it for that. I'm here to make music, and I'm here to have genuine relationships, like, you know what I'm saying? There's be a lot of petty stuff, you know, going on. Like I feel like if somebody ain't get hurt, nobody fought, nobody died, nobody got shot, none of that, then it's nothing really to me for real. You know what I'm saying? Because I told you, I'm gonna start in the projects, bro. Like we was really fighting like all the time. Like you ask my mom, we was really fighting outside all the time. So a lot of stuff that be going on to me be like petty stuff and just a lot of immaturity. But, you know, we moved through it though. You know what I'm saying? I moved through it and like, you know, just kind of stayed in my lane during that time. And fast forward, like I met Snap Dogg and like you know, we was doing music. He's from Detroit. Was doing music, and I was trying to branch out, you know, to, you know, get my beats to like different markets, different places outside of Atlanta, you know. Really, one of my people, her name AJ, she like emailed Snap Dogg, his manager, and they told her to send some beats. She was like, yo, I got, what's the name, contact, send some beats. That's how I be working too. And through Snap, I met his engineer, you know what I'm saying? We was working. You know, he got signed to Ethica. They signed him, and they was trying to sign me, and I didn't do the deal. And like we just you know, just kept on working. You know what I'm saying? You know, dropped some songs. They did good. Did a Nipsey Hussle tribute. Did like millions of views. Did some other songs. Did a lot of views. But yeah, just kept on working. Then through him, I met Sada Baby. You know what I'm saying? Sue Snap's engineer. Met Sada Baby, and like, you know, I was sending beats to Sada Baby. Like, there's always a chain link through people. And through Sada Baby, I met Skilla, sending beats through Skilla, you know, through his engineer. Like, you know, met a lot of different people, you know. You had a lot of other Detroit artists hit me up, like, yo, send some beats. I heard you do the song with Sada. Like, I need some beats too. But throughout all of this, like, because I've been through a lot with this, you know, as I'm coming up and like making music, like, you know, and I'm, you know, always grinding and always like getting placements and making moves and going here, going there. But like the last 2 years, I went full time making music, quit my job, and like, you know, was just like, man, I gotta go full throttle. It was just time. Like I had a lot of, you know, stuff going on, and like I was like, you know, working my last job, and I was just like, man, something gotta change. Like, you know, I got too much stuff going on. I ain't got time for this and that. People go saying, yo, pull up here, and I'm missing out on opportunities. I was like, man, something gotta change. So I quit my job and just went full throttle, like, you know, with the music. And like, it changed my life for real, because when you just have that faith and just know it's gonna work out, and you just trust in God and be like, all right, I'm just gonna give it my all. Like, I'm not gonna just try to rely on a job. I'm gonna rely on my talent and, you know what I'm saying, rely on God to just push things through and connect the dots. And He's been doing it. And you had, in order to, you know, being a full-time producer, like, you really have to, like, you know, really have a strong mind, because you're an entrepreneur at the end of the day, you know. And when I quit my job, I met Mike Will Made It, like, was at always going to the warehouse, like, with his producers, making beats with him, you know what I'm saying, making beats at their studio, you know what I'm saying, with his producers, you know. And like, meeting a lot of artists, like, and was engineering Caribou, was engineering Mauna Leo, like all these people. And, through working with them. And it's something where you have to, like, make a choice, like, to go, there's no plan B. I don't believe in plan Bs unless you adding an addition to your business. Like, I'm doing music and now I'm like, okay, I want to start another business. Like, I believe in that, but I don't believe in no plan Bs. It's either plan A and plan A and plan A. Ain't no plan Bs, So, like, you just gotta go hard. And but yeah, quit my job, started full time, and it's like been the best decision ever, for real. Honestly, been the best decision I've ever made, because I really really had like the drive to actually do it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't scared, like, oh, what if da 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 da, and what if that, and what if that. It's just like having a job is like fake security. Like, they be like, oh, like this security and this. No, it's not, because they can fire you. You know what I'm saying? They can fire you, and with no explanation. Now you can't pay your rent, your more whatever you got. You know what I'm saying? And now you out of luck. You just down bad. And like, I was just like, man, I'm about to bet on myself. Like, I'm not about to just continue down this road of just like doing this. I'm just gonna bet on myself. And through that time, I've gotten way more placements. I've gotten more money that I was working at a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's something where that too, like really grinding, I'm going to this studio. Now I'm going to that studio. Okay, now I got a session over here. Oh, now I'm about to about to go to Mike Will's spot and go see what they got going on. Check up on them, see what they got going on. Say what's up, dap a couple people up, get an update, see what's going on with them, musically, life, And then I'm going to here, so like, it's a lot of things you gotta move around, especially as a full-time producer. You gotta move around and, definitely network. And even now, like, I never was the type of producer to like make loops. Like, I never was that type of producer. Like, a lot of these songs I did by myself, a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? But like, I realized that like everything is a collaboration. You have to collab with other producers. You have to do loops and send them out. And 'cause that's a way to continue moving your name, through the music industry. And like, it's definitely gotta have a strong mind. You gotta know who you are, you have to know like your goals and what you wanna do. Because if you don't know who you are, these people that's in this industry, they're gonna tell you who you are. And they're gonna try to, do this. I seen it. Ain't happened to me, but I seen people getting, bullied and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen this shit. And like, you gotta know who you are. You gotta stand on business. You can't let nobody try to take advantage of you. Can't be stupid. You gotta have wisdom. Gotta have wisdom, because when you got wisdom, people gonna come correct when they talking to you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna come correct. So like, you gotta have wisdom in business too. You gotta know what's going on. Like, signing a contract. Make sure we got too much technology too. Like, when you handling business for yourself in the music industry, we got too much technology. You can take a whole contract and put it in ChatGPT, paragraph by paragraph, and have it break down each paragraph of the contract, so you know what's going on. Like, I've seen a lot of people get snaked. A lot of people sign wrong contracts. Like, like, I've been in situations where, it's been a lot of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? But like, I always like kind of thought about things beforehand. I never was like just impulsive just because somebody's trying to throw you some money. Like, I can get this money myself, for real. But like, I'm never gonna turn down help. But I just feel like it gotta be right. Yeah, like, it's a lot of things that comes with this as a music producer that people don't realize. They think you just sit in your room just making beats all day. Like, that's a part of it, but that's like probably like 30% of it. Like, you gotta handle business, you gotta talk to people, you gotta do meetings with people, you gotta go to the studio, you gotta make content, you gotta like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, move around, and you gotta network with people, you gotta go to different events, you gotta like show your face, you gotta not be so easily offended either. You can't be easily offended by certain things too. You gotta let things roll off your back. It take real tough skin to do this job for 10 years, Like, it take a real tough skin to do this for 10 years. I know people that got platinum songs, this and that, and they not here no more. Like, they don't do music no more. They just gave up. They're like, man, like, I got this one song, but they don't know how to move past that one song, you know? Like, you got to learn how to reevaluate yourself, like, or reroute your whatever you got going on, rebrand, whatever you got to do. Because a lot of people might get one song and then they just like, oh, I'm set. Like, I don't got to do nothing else ever again. No, it don't work like that. This ain't 1992. Like, it's different now. You got to do a lot. You got to do more, you know, than what people were doing back in the day. I feel like, you know, you definitely got to know the business. You got to know how to talk to people. You have to have communication. You got to make sure you have a good lawyer, you know. Gotta have a good lawyer. If you don't got a good lawyer, somebody you can trust, they gonna get over on you, and you gonna be sitting here crying on a freaking Instagram video like, let me out my deal, please, begging and junk. Like, you gotta really have some wisdom. Gotta pray, ask God, please, God, make sure this contract good. Help me to, if any snakes around me, please remove them. Like, you gotta really be on that, because there's a lot of snakes in the music industry. A lot of y'all only be seeing the outside and the glamorous stuff and the freaking lights and the diamond chains and all this stuff. But it'd be a lot of stuff behind closed doors that y'all not seeing. That'd be a lot of real life situations going on, for real. So you gotta, like, pay attention, like, you know, as far as, like, you being wise in business and stuff, because it'd be a lot of foolery going on, and you just gotta stay in your lane, you know, and stand on business. But yeah, like, even like, it's going to be times where you just want to quit. You don't even want to do this junk no more. You be like, bruh, this person, this person, they've been making beats for this person for this long, and they don't drop none of the songs. It's just like wasting time, It's just like a lot of stuff going on. You might be working on a project, and they be like, nah, we don't want to go this route anymore. We actually want to do a different type of music. You've been making all these beats. Now they want to go a route that you don't even really make for real, you know? Never stick with one artist. If you don't see no progression with that artist, and they not looking out for you, and they not, like, you know, making sure certain things are good, you know, you have to make sure things are good first, but they should want good for you too, not just always looking out for themselves, you know? Like, never do that, because you're gonna be pissed. If that artist gets shelved, then what? Now you shelved, because you making all his music, you know? So, like, you know, I've been through a lot with this. So, like, always diversify your portfolio, you know? Always diversify your portfolio. Never just focus on this one thing. Unless you are assigned to that person, you getting bankroll, you know, working with that person genuine, they loyal, and it matches your bank account. Because if you want loyalty, for real, like, loyalty in this industry is definitely rare. It's very rare. You know, it's only a couple people that, you know, where the loyalty is just like, or not even loyalty. I hate like just being genuine, just a genuine human being. Like, you're not really thinking about no, like, behind closed doors type thing, or this person gonna do something to me, this person gonna snake me. Like, you know, it's very limited. Not even just the music industry. It's just like the world in general. It's hard to find genuine people. Not that people looking, but I'm just saying, when you come across people, it's hard to find those type of genuine people. So if you do have those genuine people in the music industry, keep them close. You know what I'm saying? Because you need that for real. In this, because it get dark. It get dark. You know. So yeah, like, you want to quit. You know, as I was saying, you know, feel like quitting. Like, just make sure that, like, you're focusing on yourself. Like, what I learned is, a lot of times we just get overly burnt out. You getting placements, you moving here, going to the studio. But a lot of times these people not working out. You're not going to the gym. You're not eating good. You're just eating, like, freaking cookies in a studio and chicken wings and, you know, Chinese food, and you're not eating good, and it affects your health, and it affects your mind, and it affects your vision, and, like, your goals and everything like that. And you get burnt out. You're like, man, I want to quit. This person doing this, or this contract is label. Oh my gosh. Like, but you have to take care of yourself first. That way you can have a clear mind. You know, I learned that you got to go to the gym. Can't always just be eating fast food all day long. You know, you got to treat yourself sometimes. You know, I always like helping a lot of people, you know, in the beginning, like, oh, I'm gonna get you help that. You'll send some beats. I'm in the studio with that. But I learned as I got older, I'm like, nah, like, I gotta make sure that I'm good first. Then, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with helping people, but sometimes some people, you know, act weird sometimes. But yeah, you know, I just want to share some things with y'all, and just so you can understand, like, you know, who I am, you know what I'm saying? And some things I went through in the music industry. You know, don't give up, like, keep on working. You know, things go up and down. Everything is not always perfect. You might have a good year, and then next year it might be like, oh, a little bit slower, and then next year after that it might be, oh yeah, we turned, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's something where like you just gotta keep on going, you know. But make sure y'all subscribe, you know, to this channel. Make sure you like this video, share this video, and just keep on following me along my journey. You know, I'm gonna keep on sharing content and vlogs and stuff like that, and just giving y'all my thoughts, you know. So appreciate y'all. Peace.